Hi everyone, this is Miss Elfe here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to teach you how to make the puff pastry. Puff pastry from scratch. Yes, from scratch. And I'm going to teach you how to make it in 3 ways. So we're going to make the apple turnovers, apple tarts, and then the spinach cheese swirls. So stay back, watch, and let's get started. To begin with, you need your ice water, your Parmesan cheese, cream cheese, your flour, spinach, brown sugar, batter, your apples, and oil. So we're going to flatten our batter. And one thing about puff pastry is it's all about cold. If it's not cold, you won't get the results you're looking for. So we're going to flatten this batter, and I'm going to do it with a solid wrap just because it will help it not stick out or stick on your rolling pin, and it will be the best way to have it covered as you refreeze it after you flatten it. And make sure your batter is at room temperature so you can easily roll it. Yes, so I'm going to use my rolling pin and flatten it the best way I can. And as you can see, it's room temperature, so it's easy to roll. Yes, so with flattening this batter, you don't need too much muscles. As you can see, it's really flat, and that's how you want it, and then you refreeze it. Okay, so now let's start working on the dough. This is pastry flour. You can use all purpose, but I always say use the right flour for the right product for the best results. So we're going to mix it like the way they do the pasta, but this will be a little bit different. We're going to sprinkle our salt on it, make a little hole in the middle. Yes, and then add a little bit of butter to it. We're going to just take a few, break it into bits, and then slowly incorporate it into it, and add our cold water as we mold it. And just be gentle with your dough and mold it. Yes, your water, and make sure it's really cold. Once your batter starts melting, you will now get your dough to be right. You won't get your dough actually to puff. That's the main goal. The batter helps it to puff, and it puffs better when it's cold. There you go. So you mix it gently, and you can also do this in a machine, but I usually don't get the results I want because the machine needs it too much, and this doesn't need too much kneading. All you need is just trying to get the batter to mix well with it. As you knead it, you add few more batter to it. Puff pastry is all about batter. It's a buttery pastry. So if you're not a huge fan of butter, I don't think you'll like it. So this is a buttery dough. Yep. More butter will be coming in later. So a little bit more kneading, and to have it all smoothing out in all corners and making sure that everything has mixed in very, very well. At this point, we're going to flatten our dough and freeze it. And just like I did with the batter, I'm going to put my dough in a Saran wrap and just roll it out. Yes, roll it out till it's flat, and then you keep it in the refrigerator. Normally, in the industrial environment, they have a flattened machine that they just roll it in and flattens it out. But hey, if you're doing it at home on a low scale like this, all you need is your rolling pin and your table, and you can just get it flat as easily as this. And be careful so you don't break your bag as you flatten it out. Yeah. As I freeze my dough, I'm going to start working on my filling. So this is spinach. I'm going to chop it up a little bit and then just keep it in the warm water to soften it a little bit. You don't want to overcook it, just warm water to soften it. So this filling is a spinach cheese dip or filling. So my cream cheese, my powdered Parmesan, and then powdered mozzarella. These three cheeses, you can use any cheese you want, but this is the choice that I have. So I'm going to mix it all together and then use it as my first puff pastry filling. Yes, so I want to add a little bit of garlic powder, and you can, it's optional, you don't have to add it, but I love garlic, so just a little bit, like a tablespoon, and some onions to it. Yes, this is how I want it. It's mixing so well. Now I'm going to add my spinach to it. Yeah, I didn't drain the water off it just because I wanted a little bit water with my cheese mix so it can keep it moist and all together. Yes, that extra little water to keep it together. So now I'm just going to use my hand to mix it and get the results I want. So at this point, my filling is ready, and I'm going to start working on the next filling, and that's my apples. I'm going to peel it and then cut it up in circles. So, yes. So now I'm going to poke holes in it. So as you take the seed out, you can use your cookie cutter to make that hole in it. And I'm keeping it in the water to keep it cold. Like I told you, the puff pastry needs to be cold. So anything you're working with, make sure after, especially with your filling, you keep it all refrigerated till you're ready to bake it. So that's ready and done. Now my dough is ready, and this is where we're going to do the real mix in. At this point, you're taking your dough out, and then I'm going to put both the batter, the flattened batter, and the flattened dough together. You're going to roll it into each other. And so this is the tricky part. Make sure it's cold, or the room that you're working in is cold as well, just so your batter wouldn't melt as you work. So as you can see, it's cold, so I can easily just break it off and start putting it in it, and then roll it. It gotta be cold. There you go. This is my first layer. I just press it in and roll it out. Yes, this is where you need your muscles. But hey, it's just the fun of baking. So it's just, I love doing puff pastry. Just the rolling it in and see all the batter draw its way in. I mean, that's the beauty. I love to see it like this. So you keep adding your batter as you roll, and make sure you always have your flour on the side to help it from not sticking. Yes, I know. I know. It's a lot of rolling. Roll till all your batter has mixed in very well. And it's okay if you see traces of batter in it. It's all good. So as you roll, make sure you don't overmix as well. It's all just rolling your batter into your dough, and that's the goal. And once you've used everything, then it's ready to do your filling. So I'm going to cut it into strips. This is for the apple tarts. Yes. So I have my strips, and I'm ready to wrap it around my apple rings. So let's get it started. Okay, so now I'm going to wipe or just wipe my apples a little bit so it will be a little bit dry in order for me to wrap my dough around it. So I'm going to put it in the flour just a little bit, just covering it with the flour, and then now I'm going to roll my strips around it. Yeah, just because the hole is that little, that's why I have my strips to be this thin. You can make it bigger if you want, but that's how I choose to do it. And you can have it fully covered or you can have space around it. I like it this way because I want people to see that there's an apple in there. And you can use any fruit you want. Like I say, fruit of your choice. It doesn't necessarily have to be apple. So whatever works best for you, you can do that. And the next one is the apple turnovers. So that I'm using the pre-made apple filling. I didn't want to go through the hassle making apple filling. It's just too much work. So this is a little cheating right here. So it's a style-made apple filling that I'm going to use for this one. There you go. And yes, you can use a peach filling, cherry filling, whatever fruit you want, you can use it. I just love apples, so I decided to go for that. Yeah, and then usually you cut it into triangles, and then you make a little design on top. So there you go. The next one is for my Spanish cheese swirls. So I'm just going to fill it all in and cover it up, roll it, and cut it into little rolls or circles. If you are a cheesy person or if you love cheese, this is for you. So with the puff pastry, you can have the savory part and then the sweet part, and they've made so many pastries out of the puff pastry. So you can do more research and do as many varieties as you want. All you need is to get your puff pastry dough right, and you are good to go. Yeah, so as you cut it, look at that. See the filling? That's the beauty right there. Beautiful. And make sure they are in the same size so then it can look as uniform as possible. And the filling, You can do any filling you want. You can omit the cheese and also make some meat or whatever. I mean, whatever you want. No, it doesn't have to strictly be the cheese, whatever, but it can be any filling. And look at that. So at this point, I'm going to egg wash it, and then it's ready for the oven. The oven is already preheated at 360, and it all depends on the oven you're using. So know the temperature of your oven so that you can either reduce it or increase it. So this is already heated at 360, egg wash, and then I'm going to sprinkle some brown sugar on my apple tart and then the apple turnovers. With the spinach cheese rolls, I'll just egg wash it and won't put anything else on it. And then ready to bake it. And you bake this for only 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes. If not, it's going to burn and you will be so sad. Yes, all your hard work will just go down the drain. So this is not the baking that you leave your kitchen. You keep an eye on it till it's golden brown, then you take it out. It's ready, it's ready, it's ready, ready, ready. Look at the way it puffed. Look at the beauty. The batter make it puff beautifully. And this is what I'm talking about. Yes. Presenting to you puff pastry. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of today's session. And this is the perfect snack you need for this fall season. Yes. With all the cold and all that sweater stuff, when you get your cup, your warm cup of milk, this is what you need with it. So give it a try and let me know. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Thanks so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and share. Thank you. Let's take a bite. This is what I call good food, good mood. Thanks for watching. Bye.